What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the 10th episode of The Day I Became a God. This one is titled Days That Pass By. It's the first episode that's not gone the day of, so that's significant. Also, mainly because that's usually because it's what Hina and Yota have been doing together. I don't think they're doing anything together this time. I don't know if Yota's even going to see Hina this episode. That's debatable. So last time, the penny kind of dropped, and everything kind of fell into place of what's truly happening. So, Hina was essentially saved by the grandpa and using a new supercomputer chip type thing that is in her. And I'm fairly certain it's in her, not her clothing, as some people have hypothesized. I don't think putting a supercomputer into a hat will reverse a biological disease. I don't see any way of making that work. I think the idea, because you've mentioned the idea, and some of my comments have mentioned as well, that if I take off these clothes, I'm no longer the god. I think that's more of a defense mechanism, and just her trying to fool herself to an extent, and just feeling more comfortable in those clothes, just because it's an attachment to the grandpa, maybe. That's where I'm thinking that's more going. I don't think the clothes themselves... Well, you know, actually, potentially the entire outfit serves as some form of help against that, but at the same time, she does not wear those clothes 24/7. Like, she wears them pretty much all the time when she can, but she still has to take them off for certain occasions, and I feel like they would have alluded to that a little more if taking those off had some form of adverse effect on her. I feel like they would have maybe mentioned that a little more, but, you know, I know there was, like, some form of symbolism with that hat coming off. I think that's just to say she is no longer the god you think she is because she's been captured in this way and she knows there's nothing more she can do. I think that's more the symbolism of the hat rather than it actually being, oh, now they have the hat, they could use the supercomputer. I don't think it's that simple. Also, who would put a supercomputer into a hat that could just fly away? Like, that's way too goddamn risky. That hat could be gone. Like, all it takes is just one gust of wind, say goodbye to that hat forever, say goodbye to your supercomputer chip. I don't think it's in the hat. If it is, then, well, okay, now we're getting a bit ridiculous, but, you know, whatever. I think it firmly is in her, just because it has an effect on her biology in form of affecting her brain and affecting the Logos syndrome and reversing it, essentially, or at least seems to have reversed it. I guess we'll see what that actually ends up being. But, yeah, aside from that, we now know what the grandpa was doing. It was his project to essentially save her and develop the supercomputer intellect that merges with hers. Hacker Boy found it and gave all that information up, but once again, he was limited in what he could do. Kid's kind of messed up, thanks to the bit of backstory we saw on him as well. I still don't quite know what to think of him yet. I need a little more time to really see where his character ends up going before I can make a real judgment on him. But he did warn Hina that this was happening, and that kind of shook her out of the pretend facade that she was putting on, because she then realized, oh wait, the end of the world, that's my end, not their end. But again, the title is The Day I Became a God, so maybe they're going to reference the day she received this treatment, or maybe it's, I don't know if it's from Yota's perspective and it's Yota becoming the god. I don't know. I don't know, because do they want this show? Okay, this is what it comes down to. Do they want this show, and by they, I mean, of course, shouldn't either. Does he want this show to be a feel-good ending or a depressing ending? Like, does he want that huge... Like, he wants a huge emotional gut punch. So far, we haven't really hit that. It's been semi-predictable as to the events going up till now. I think the emotional gut punch will be, if they are going to remove the chip, like they plan to do, because it's too dangerous for humanity to have, and all the world nations have signed on to it. Also, thank you for pointing out that it was all the world nations, and there was different languages on the stamps and such. If he wants that emotional gut punch, remove the chip, let Logos Syndrome take effect again, and let Yota see what she was essentially however many years ago it was when she was saved by the grandpa. That's the emotional gut punch. Seeing her in a state like that compared to the all the time he's known her. That would be a huge emotional gut punch. And I think maybe, I mean, if you have a syndrome that does have muscular dystrophy and all this, you do something like that to really hit home how just depressing and just heartbreaking that would be. I feel like he might do that. I kind of hope he does, because if he really wants this to have an emotional gut punch, you've got to use that, essentially. Because so far, there's not been enough emotion, really, I think, to rank this as one of the great emotional shows of anime. Because, realistically, this is the only show this year that has the potential to truly make me cry now. All the other shows I've gotten through. This is the one show that could potentially make me cry, and be added to the list of shows up there, essentially. So, I'm interested to see where Jomida goes with this, but we've got 3 episodes left. That's what confuses me. We had that big reveal and I've got the super, all this stuff. That all happened in episode 9, and we've still got 3 more episodes to go. I expected that more as the end of episode, or mid-episode 11, maybe end of 10. So, curious to see where they go with this. So, I'm going to shut up, and we're actually going to get into the episode, because I realize I've been talking a bit too long. Anyway, as per usual, these are time-based format reactions. Bottom left of the screen, you're going to see the time of the episode. I count you down 3, 2, 1, play. Then on play, you start the episode, I start the episode, and we will be in sync. Watch this one on Funimation as per usual, since that's who's licensed it. Aniplex logo, and then Funimation logo to start, so about 12 seconds of logos. You can also use screen flash on my face or the mic to tell when the scene's transitioning, just to help you sync up that little bit nicer. So, with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Aniplex. And Funimation. Cheers to that. Almost our drink. Here we go. Daily life just continuing as normal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Also, someone did a interpretation of the lyrics here. I saw that on Analyst earlier. They posted it after last week's episode. And they we don't actually have the lyrics here on Funimation's version. Maybe the version you have might have lyrics, I don't, though. But apparently, the interpretation that they came across, and is very believable, is that this is Hina's song to Yota. And her wishing and wanting to spend time with him and not wanting it to end. And looking at the lyrics, it seems pretty believable. That was new. That wasn't there before. This is different. This is all different. Oh no. What was it, the cat? Oh no. They are going to do it. I actually got a little bit of goosebumps seeing that, because I'm fairly certain that was going to be a hospital scene. Oh boy. Oh boy, Jomida, you are... He might do it. He might do it. Yeah, he's still down, obviously. Yep. Well, no, because it's a government interference thing, so government doesn't want you to see. Mm-hmm. Who the hell? Wait, is that Hacker Boy? That is Hacker Boy, isn't it? Oof. That is Hacker Boy, isn't it? Yeah. Very cryptic. Understatement. Okay. Yeah, you did. Wasn't he in confinement at the end of the last episode? Hmm. Yeah. He knows everything. Yeah, he's not a beginner. Yep. So much for being a beginner. Nice. True. What's his? Oh boy. Takoyaki. Yep. Uh, yep. We're hitting up all the old spots that we've already done. Hina met them at basketball. Hina helped here. I wonder if he's retracing all the steps that Yoto and Hina have been. So dumb. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are purposefully hitting up all the spots, I think. Yep. There we go. He wants Yota to be the one that says it. Oh damn. Mm-hmm. Time's progressing without seeing Hina. This is setting us up time for her to, you know, for the syndrome to take effect again. It's an interesting crossing. I don't think I've ever seen one like that in the UK. Hmm. We're really, yeah. We're really giving a lot of time for it. Monopoly, of course. No Hina. I don't know about forget. It depends. Yeah. Yep. Mm. Really trying to get Yota to acknowledge it. God, exams. I'm so glad I've not taken an exam in years. uh, uh, interesting. Hmm. Yep. To an extent. This FOV shot is weird. Yeah. You gonna put two and two together now, Yota? You're putting two and two together, Yota? Yep. You have to be a bit more obvious than that. Yeah. Wow. Oh. Holy shit. You didn't say anything, which is the problem. Put two and two together. Come on. Put two and two together. You done it? Mm-hmm. There we go. Quite easily, you're a main character. Mm-hmm. There we go. Interesting. So he's here on a mission. Mm-hmm. Yes. Straight to her. Okay. Yeah, I'd imagine. And that also means that Lola syndrome, if it wasn't cured. Okay, we're going to start breaking the information down to him. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's the way she was born? Mm-hmm. You could see her. She won't be the same at all, I don't think. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be rough. God. Mama's so easygoing, I love her. Going a long ass distance. Yeah. You might as well be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sanatorium, okay. Okay. 2 weeks only, okay. Okay. You hear the music. Mm-hmm. Because it's partially your fault for this situation. Hmm. Sort of. Okay. Interesting. Okay. There's a little bit of happiness before I'm gonna dread this. They're gonna end right on it. I am not. Mm. I have my concerns. Okay. Yep. A lot of people in various stages of recovery. I don't know if recovery is the right word. That's the camera. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, full on. Yep. Not as bad as I was expecting, but it's still pretty bad. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Essentially, nope. Not happening. Really? Huh. Right, yes. She has to consent. I don't think she does. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Calm yourself, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's probably for the best. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Bosworth's coming back. Yep. Yep. That's the hard choice you gotta make. Is someone gonna intervene, or is it just gonna end like that? It's just gonna end like that, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so that could have been way worse. I was really expecting, considering it's been several months since that would have happened, I expected her to be in worse condition. She's actually not as bad as I expected. I mean, it's still rough, but I really did expect it to be worse. But we've got 2 weeks with her now, essentially. to essentially rebuild the trust. But I guess it's going to come down to the question. Okay, so I'll discuss this in the after bit, but I have some ideas on 2 different directions this show could go, depending on what Yamaida actually wants this show to be. Because I'm not quite sure which direction he wants this to go. So we'll see. ED's the same as ever, I think. Yeah, the goldfish symbology has been very prevalent through all of this. Yeah, empty fish bowl, but there will still be a fish swimming in the reflection. Or a shadow of a fish, anyway. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. Okay, so. Let's mark that off as watched before I forget. Yeah, okay, so. There are 2 directions I think this show can go. Do we want to have a happy end or a sad end? So that's really the 2 choices we have here, I think, for the story. A happy end would be the chip that had been implanted in her, and now that she's had the surgery and everything, did it completely... It obviously reversed the effect of Lola syndrome, but has that been a permanent reversal? Or is it just going to... Or did it just keep it at bay for whilst it was in her? Because if you want to have a happy ending, you say the chip reversed it to the point where it's not going to be a problem anymore. And that the body has now cured it, for lack of a better word, and is now able to continue with that. She's just mentally traumatized and needs to spend more time with him and build that trust up again. Or are they going to go the sad end and have her deteriorate more and more and more as these 2 weeks go on? However, if it's... Relatively speaking, when they showed her in the bed, it's obvious she had deteriorated compared to how she had been. But not as bad as I expected. Really not as bad as I expected. It seemed more as her physicality hadn't gone down that much, but her mind had deteriorated a lot more. A lot more. And realistically, he should have been briefed a little bit better as to what she was going through before allowed to just see her and shout and... Yeah, he, Yeah, he should have been a bit more briefed on what was happening. Do they want it... Does Yamaida want this to be a sad ending? What's the overall message of the show, you know? Does he want this show to be one that you treasure the time you do have, because you don't know how long it will be gone? It could be gone very soon, so make the most of it whilst you have it? Is that the type of message he wants to go for in this show? I don't know. But we've got 2 weeks now of Yota and Hina. If he chooses to try and make amends and rekindle that with her, or just leave like the father did, I think he's going to do whatever the father didn't do. So I think he's going to stick around. He's got 2 weeks here. Yes, he's completely broken right now, but I think overall he will want to continue to see her and be there for her, essentially. I think that he will do that, because otherwise there wouldn't be much of a show left, you know? I just wonder how bad she's going to get. I do wonder. Okay, so let's look at other Yamaida works, right? Let me just pull up some other Yamaida works that we can use as reference here. Yamaida original story. Okay, so Charlotte, I can't speak of, never watched it. I have no idea what the ending of Charlotte is, and I don't want to know just in case I end up watching it one day. So I don't know how that one went. Let's see the ones that I did watch of his. So I've seen Clannad. Clannad ultimately had a lot of heartbreak, but ultimately a positive ending. Ultimately. Angel Beats. How did Angel Beats end? That's a good question. What was the ending of Angel Beats? I genuinely can't remember how that show ended. I remember it being emotional. I don't remember how it ended, though. Where was the episode list for that? List of episodes. Okay, so potential spoilers to Angel Beats if you haven't seen it already. Oh, right, it was all about the heart and stuff. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember this ending now, yeah. I completely forgot about the heart transplant storyline. Okay. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Okay, so yeah, ultimately a hopeful ending, I would say Angel Beats was. Overall. I'd have to rewatch it again. I don't think Hina's going to survive. I think Hina will die by the end of this. I think if they want an actual realistic ending to this, Hina has to die. That's my initial thoughts. I think Hina has to pass on, and he has to come to terms with that and cherish the time that he did have with her that ultimately she never really would have had if it wasn't for the grandpa. But in theory, what was the exact wording on the government's decision to remove the chip? Obviously, they removed it. Did they outright destroy it? I think they said they were going to outright destroy it because humanity cannot handle this right now, right? Was that the exact wording that they used? Someone in the comments, please double check that for me. I can't remember the exact wording that they said. I think it was that we should destroy it because humanity cannot handle something like this. It would just break so many things. I wonder if the research into combating Logo Syndrome, though, could be saved and salvaged from that. So that there is potentially a treatment for her, but without the omniscient god powers and such. I wonder if research went into the chip before it was destroyed and could see that, hey, the Logo Syndrome effect, we could isolate that and create that as a treatment. I wonder. Because that's how you have a happy ending. But I don't know if the show's going for that. I would rather they didn't. To an extent. I think this show would have a much better emotional impact if it didn't have that ending and it just said, no, she's going to pass on with Yota there. But so far, I'll be honest, I don't know if it's just because I see a lot of this coming at the moment, but so far the emotional impact hasn't quite hit. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone, of course, but for me, the emotional impact hasn't quite hit. I think seeing Hina in a worse physical state, that might tip me over the edge a little bit. But so far, it's not really hit that point. So I guess we'll see as the next two episodes come on, but that's going to be one hell of a fun Christmas, isn't it? Christmas weekend, and this is how you're going to end it. It's going to be something, isn't it? Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one as much as you can enjoy seeing something like that, I suppose. Leave a like if you did. As per usual, it helps grow the channel, as do your comments of what you thought. Get back to me on some of the wording of what they were going to do with the chip once it was out. And let me know your thoughts on how the emotional impact of this show has been doing. Like, is it, if you're relatively inexperienced with this type of story, how's it doing? If you've seen a lot of Jun Maida's previous works, how's it comparing to some of those other ones? I don't think this is as good as Clannad. I mean, Clannad's such a high bar, so I think that's a bit unfair to say that, but it's not comparing to Clannad for me so far. Also, Clannad had just so much more to it. Another benefit of having a longer series than shorter single cores. Compared to Angel Beats, I don't know, I'd have to rewatch Angel Beats again to have a true measure of how I feel about that versus this, but my memory of Angel Beats has a more emotional impact than this has so far. We've still got 2 more episodes, and I think the 2 most emotional episodes coming up, so I guess we'll see. But don't forget to subscribe as well to see next week's episode, the penultimate episode, as well as the rest of the fall 2020 lineup you can find on my channel. Getting ready for the winter 2021 previews soon, so stay tuned for that. That will probably be coming out over Christmas sometime, so stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.